when we fall hard, and it's not hard for us to fall. You know what I mean? Like when you know, like that's how it is for water signs. Like there is no like timing. There is no like, well, it's only been like 2 days. Like when we know, we know. Water sign, honestly, women and men, because for us, love is a very intuitive experience. So if we feel pulled to you as water signs, we trust that gut instinct. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to Yap Therapy. So, how you doing? I feel like why does this feel like the longest eclipse portal ever? Like, why does it feel like that? I feel like we've been in this eclipse energy for 2 years and I'm tired. Time is moving really slow. Is that how you guys are feeling? That's how I'm feeling. And I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm ready for Libra season. I think Libra season is exactly what we need. Also, Love Island Games started, which makes me really, really happy. I just need a good reality show in the running, in the mix, in order for me to feel okay. Like, genuinely, I do. Because I need some drama that is not mine to focus on. Because life is just like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be all like negative, but really, like, genuinely, why is like life like? And if you're listening, you just need to like come and watch so you can see my face right now, because genuinely I'm just like, why is life like that? Like, why are you acting like that? And I choose to believe that it's not just my life. I think everyone's a little tired. So if that is you, you are seen and you are heard. But anyway, let's get into our topics because I have some goodies today. The first topic that I saw. So apparently there was this Harvard study I saw on TikTok. Someone talking about it. And it's basically about motivation and, having motivation. And basically it proved that if you want more motivation in life, you need to focus more on how far you've come instead of thinking about how far you still have to go to get where you want to be. You know what I mean? So instead of looking at the goalpost constantly, changing your mind and changing your mindset and thinking about how far you've come from where you've started, right? Like those are two different journeys. Those are two different viewpoints, and those are two different ways for you to think about yourself, right? Like when you're thinking about yourself, it's so easy to get wrapped up in this is what I need to be doing to get there. This is where I'm, lacking. This is what I need to do faster. How can I go to get there, right? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with thinking about, your future and, wanting to do things, taking certain steps to get what you want. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this constant mindset of what do I need to do? What do I need to keep doing? You're just always living in the future, right? And that can get really, really stressful. So basically this Harvard study proved that if you start thinking about your progress and focusing on your progress instead of the future tasks you still have to do in order, accomplish in order to be happy, you will already feel more motivated, right? And it really does make sense because sometimes it's so daunting thinking about, I just have to keep going. Like, I just have to keep going. Like, not on some, like, depressing shit. Because, if anyone knows depressed, it's me. I have actual depression. But she's medicated, so she's good. But genuinely, it can get like this in your mind if you've ever battled with depression or if you're just, dealing with a lot mentally. Your life is just really busy. This season of your life is really busy. And all you think about is everything you have to do and how you have to constantly just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, genuinely, like, it just never stops. The hustle never stops. Life doesn't stop. And if you are constantly thinking about everything you have to keep doing, like, I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I just want to, like, freeze and do nothing. And sometimes I do, and that's where anxiety comes from. But I still keep going because I'm a Capricorn rising who doesn't quit even when I should take a break. But if you were to change that mindset and stop thinking about, okay, this is all I have to do to keep going, why don't you just think about everything you've done thus far? You know what I mean? Think about past you and everything that they went through, and every version of you that didn't have the mindset that you have right now, right? There are so many things that you have gone through that have made you stronger, and there's just so many things that you thought were going to be so hard, and they were hard, but you're on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Like everything that you have, I don't care if you, let's say you live on your own for the first time, like really, like you can't not be grateful for that, right? Even if you are living at home, you know what I mean, with your parents, there's no shame in that. Like genuinely, this economy is ridiculous, and you have that, if you have that option, then you know what I mean, that's amazing for you. And if you have a good relationship with your parents, that's amazing for you. But even just something as simple as, you know, maybe when you were younger, you were a hothead and you had a bad relationship with your parents. And now you're, you know, not as much of a hothead and you can understand your parents more. Like that's progress. There's so many things that you should be grateful for and you should be proud of yourself for, you know, when you think about how far you've come. But I feel like as people, we are constantly thinking about everything else that is left to do. And I could understand why with this study, it shows that if you're constantly thinking about everything that's left to do, you're not as motivated. You know what I mean? Whereas if you keep thinking about everything that you've done, you're like, damn, like I really do have that power within me. Like I really can do anything I set my mind to. Like, wow, I really am able to show up and do these things to create slowly, you know, make slow steps towards the life that I want. Because you wouldn't be you right now if, you know, past versions of you weren't doing things, right? Learning things, trying to be better, right? Even if you don't know it, you are progressing in life. Every day that you wake up and you try even a little bit, you are progressing, right? Like even if you're just laying there, because life can be too much, that is progress to me, because at least you're laying there and you're letting life happen, right? Like life itself is so hard. You don't always need to be doing something for it to be hard. Like the mental state of being a human, of being a spiritual being, having a human experience on earth, that within itself, I feel like is so courageous. Genuinely, I always say this. I don't think, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there is a hell, but who's to say this isn't hell? Right? I always say this, right? Because there's just so much temptation and evil and whatever in this world too. So you can really get caught up in the negative aspects of this universe and this planet. So you just being there, just literally being is enough. Because sadly, yeah, this life can be so overwhelming to so many people. Right? To all of us, but some more than others, to the point where they no longer want to be here. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but that is the reality that we live in. It's a constant battle, right? Like it's like spiritual warfare. And I remember when all the TikTok astrologers and all of us, like on Twitter, actually, Twitter astrologers, I'm not on Twitter anymore, but we were talking about how, like, yeah, it's very much like a mental spiritual warfare post 2020, because I think there was just a shift that happened for a lot of us, damn near everyone on this planet, right? And it's more important than ever to be spiritually strong and have a good sense of who you are and what you believe in, because your beliefs are constantly going to be challenged more than ever. I think as humans, they will always be challenged, but it just feels like the state of the world right now, it's just crazy, right? Like it just feels like a wild card. Like that's how I'm feeling about the state of the world. It feels like a wild card more than ever before. Nothing really feels grounded or stable, which is why you need to find that sense of stability and spiritual strength within yourself. Otherwise, you're going to get so lost in the sauce, and you're going to get so lost, you know, in other people's opinions, right? Because people are having louder opinions than ever before, and so many wrong opinions. So I just think it's just so important to lock in with your spirituality, because that's ultimately what's going to be your saving grace, when nothing else can ground you. I don't know even how to describe it, but I feel like this week, I feel like life is just moving and I'm just kind of here, and not in like I'm surrendering. Well, yeah, I am too, but I genuinely feel like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the eclipses. I don't know if I'm having like, I don't know, a burnout moment. No, I don't know. It just feels like I'm doing things, but I'm not like fully present, right? I just feel like a lot is happening and I'm just kind of like there letting it happen. I don't feel like I am. What sign is Mars in right now? Because speaking of motivation, I just feel like I don't feel motivated. You know what I mean? I genuinely don't feel motivated. And if you didn't know, Mars rules over, obviously, motivation, right? Your motivation to get the things you want, right? The energy that you bring when you go after what you want. So let's see what sign Mars is transiting in right now. Mars is in, you can't make this shit up. You genuinely cannot make this shit up. And people are like, I don't know if I believe in astrology, bitch. I don't believe in you. I don't believe in you. Just kidding. I believe in you. But I believe in you more if you believed in astrology. You know what I'm saying? You definitely, I judge you when you judge astrology. Because I'm like, you're a closed-minded individual and you think this gives you a personality. You like not liking these things. You think it's like a personality trait that you're like so different. Well, you're not. That's not what makes you different. Let's come up with something else, but that's not what makes you different. Anyway, Mars being in Libra just makes so much sense because Libra is obviously one of the most passive signs and Libra is ruled by Venus. What signs does Venus hate being in? Scorpio and Aries. What planet rules over Scorpio and Aries? Mars. You know what I mean? So Venus ruled signs don't mesh with Mars. So Mars in Taurus, Mars in Libra, they are not indicators. That energy is not an indicator of a highly motivated person or a highly motivated, chapter of life since Mars is transiting Libra right now. So if you have been feeling tired like me, if you've been feeling like you're not motivated and everything's just like sure, I'll do it. I'm not excited to do it, but I'll do it. If that's how you're feeling, it's Mars in Libra. It's Mars in Libra, and it's really annoying. And honestly, though, it makes me feel better. Now knowing that Mars is in Libra, it's like hands off. It ain't just me. It's the energy. It's the energy. So I am so ready. Mars is about to be in its home sign of Scorpio after this Mars and Libra transit. So I think that's exactly what we need because I can't, you guys. I don't like this energy. I don't like it. My Leo Mars, it is passionate. It wants to show up and show out. You know what? I want to perform. I am not feeling those things in any aspect of my life. Again, I'm doing it. I'm doing the things, but I just don't feel like myself. I don't feel like myself, no, at all. Like I said, I just kind of feel like I'm on like one of those, what are those things called at the airport that you stand on and it just moves? You know what I mean? Like it gets you from one place to the other faster, but you could also just like stand there and like it's like moving. That's how I feel like, like I feel like I'm just on one of those things and life is happening and I'm just like, nah. And trust and believe someone like me, if you know me at all, if you've been watching me, if I'm just like, life's happening. I'm not me. I'm not myself. I'm not okay. You know what I mean? I like to definitely own the fact that I am the main character in my own life, right? Like I like to feel passionate about everything. I am a passionate person. If I had to come up with 3 adjectives to describe me, passionate has always been at the top, like top 3, right? So for me, I just feel like when I'm not passionate about life, something's off. And I mean, I'm just going to blame it on eclipse season. I'm going to blame it on Mars and Libra. When is Mars moving into Scorpio? When is Mars moving into Scorpio this year? Okay, Mars is moving into Scorpio on the 22nd of September. When is that? What day is that? What day? Do you remember the 22nd of September? See what I mean? I'm being corny too. Like, I'm really not feeling like myself. Okay, so next Monday. Okay, I can get down with that. Actually, that's perfect. Mars is moving into Scorpio. Sun is going to be in Libra. We're going to feel like, like shit's like giggly and fun and cute, but then it's also like passionate, right? So I'm about that. I need that in my life so bad. If you guys have also been feeling unmotivated, let me know because it'll make me feel better. I was watching the finale for The Summer I Turned Pretty, and if you guys don't know that show, come out from under that rock. It's like this show. It's an Amazon Prime original. It's based on a book. It's a romance TV show, right? And it's about this girl, and she grew up with these two boys that are brothers, and she's kind of juggling them. And like her fucking hardest dilemma in life is, oh my god, like which brother will I fuck? Like life is just so hard when you don't know which one you want. Like it's just so hard. Um, and yet I'm still watching. So I'm watching, the series just ended, like the series finale happened. So if you don't want spoilers, like I don't know, go ahead, like skip ahead 5 minutes. Spoiler warning, okay? And it's just so funny because with a show like this, I knew the ending was going to be happy, and I knew the people that were going to end up together were going to end up together, right? Like I know she was going to end up with the brother that she was meant to be with. But I was still very much like, will she, won't she? What's going to happen? What if she chooses herself? I don't even know why I thought that, like genuinely. And she just gives me such water sign energy, the main girl, Belly. And it's because I feel like water sign women, we are truly the lover girls of the Zodiac. Like genuinely, we are such romantics. Genuinely, like all we think about is love and how it's going to work out when it comes to love. And when we fall hard, and it's not hard for us to fall. You know what I mean? Like when like that's how it is for water signs. Like there is no like timing. There is no like, well, it's only been like 2 days. Like when we know, we know. Water sign, honestly, women and men, because for us, love is a very intuitive experience. So if we feel pulled to you as water signs, we trust that gut instinct, right? Now, granted, we may have been jaded, us water signs, in the past. And when we're jaded, we may, try and kind of lie to ourselves about who it is that we're being pulled towards. But as water signs, we genuinely know within like the first few moments of meeting people if there's going to be a future here, because we feel people. And when we feel people and we feel like there is a spark there and there's chemistry there, and our heart and our soul are being pulled towards you, we lead with that energy. And that's why when we fall hard, right? Because we're not really thinking about like well, this is why maybe it won't work, Like some other signs, they can be maybe logical. Like I think air and earth signs, obviously, it's really easy for them to be logical. So it's easy for them to be like, I don't know, like I can't fall too fast, or like, I don't really know them, but this is fun. You know what I mean? But with water signs, it's like, oh no, like I'm leading with my emotions. I don't really care if it doesn't make sense. I don't care if it's been 2 days. Like I feel for you. And because I feel for you, I'm interested, and this is going to go somewhere. And maybe also, fire signs. But the reason I'm saying we're the we're the lover girls and boys of the Zodiac is because fire signs, yes, they're also very passionate, and they also do fall hard. But with fire signs, it's also easy for them to pull away when they feel like this isn't fun anymore. You know what I mean? With fire signs, it's passionate like water signs. They fall hard, but if it's not working out, they're like, it's not fun, bye. You know what I mean? Whereas with water signs, because we're so emotionally invested, even when it's not fun anymore, even when there's drama, even when there is, depending on what the drama is, obviously, and if you're a low vibrating or high vibrating water sign. But for the most part, when there's like, conflict, or maybe it's getting a little toxic, water signs tend to stay even through that, because to us, it's like, oh, this is like passion. Like as you grow older and maybe mature, you'll realize that's a little toxic of a trait to be like, oh, this is passion. But also I feel like you need a little passion. You know what I mean? Like who wants to be in a relationship where like you're just like happy 24/7? God, I feel like my toxic is coming out, but is it toxic? We have to ask ourselves, is it really toxic of me to say that relationships with two people that are just constantly happy 24/7 are boring as hell, and who the hell wants that? And it's just, there's something wrong here. What's wrong here is that there's nothing wrong here. Like that's genuinely what I think. I'm sorry. Because I'll be bored. You guys, would you really want a relationship where you're just happy all the time? I think it's that perfect balance of like, you get along most of the time, but there needs to be these moments of passion where there's a push and a pull. Again, maybe this is my Leo Mars, maybe it's but I think it's also my water sign. I feel like us water signs, not that we're deliberately trying to live in like some sort of like romance novel or like, you know what I mean? Like a rom-com, have our rom-com moment. But that's just what it comes down to. Like naturally, like that's how life is for us water signs, because we can't help but relate it back to love and why this needed to happen for our love to withstand this, because this is a part of our journey, our soulmate journey. Like we can't help but think about it all the time and relate it back to love and our love life a lot of the times. But obviously, as you become a multifaceted individual and as you learn to embrace other parts of yourself besides who you are in your love life, obviously you'll kind of, pull back and not put so much emphasis on just your love life as a water sign. But I do think during our early years, and maybe for some water signs that never evolve, it's very much like love, 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 love. Everything is about love. And Libra can kind of be in that pool as well. But the reason I'm not putting it fully in there, because Libra is still very much ruled by the scales, right? Libra is a air sign. So of course, yes, they can also be lover girls and lover boys, but Libra, when it's time to be logical, they're logical. You know what I mean? When they realize that maybe you're embarrassing them and that, you are a liability, it's very easy for Libra to walk away, right? Because they want to maintain this, image. And if you are ruining that in any way, Libra will definitely disassociate. Libra will definitely stop associating themselves with you. Whereas us water signs, we are lover boys and lover girls. And even if you embarrass us, I mean, I hope you walk away if they really embarrass you. But what I mean is with water signs, the emotional attachment is so strong that, if we're feeling toxic, which, when you are not mature, you're toxic, we'll stay through that. And I think, and I want for all water signs as you're evolving to understand that, yes, while it's fun, that push and that pull and the intensity of your love, right? How much you come back, right? Like all that's great, but also how often are you going back and forth between we love each other, we hate each other, we love each other, I can't stand you, right? Like it can't be every other day, like that's realistic. You need to have moments of passion with your partner where you guys disagree. But the thing is, I think some people disagree with their partners. Like, because I say arguing is sometimes, I think arguing is good in relationships because then it leads to conflict resolution. And the more you resolve conflict together effectively, the more trust you have in each other and your relationship, and the more you believe in your relationship, because even when you disagree, you can come out on the other side of it, right? But I feel like with some people, when they argue with their partner, they're not really resolving anything. It's just a lot of like, we fought, and then it's like shoved under the rug and then on to the next. And that builds resentment, because I think it's important to show how much you care. And I think that's what it is. This is also why I love being with the Aries Venus, because we both fight for the relationship when it's time to fight for the relationship, right? And I think there's a lot of placements and signs. They don't fight for relationships, right? Like they fight, but they're not fighting for the relationship, and they're not showing you how much they care by actually fighting with you, right? And trying to understand your point of view and kind of going back and forth, right? Because there are people who fight and they're just like passive about it, or they're just like, they give you the silent treatment. Like that is their form of a fight. And I feel like there's no progress to be made there, and your partner can't really tell if you care or not, right? So that can kind of be really, really messy. And yeah, I genuinely feel like there's nothing wrong with, arguing with your partner, as long as it's not happening all the time. And also be careful who you're sharing every single argument with, right? You guys, I mean, it's no surprise that every time you tell anyone close to you, whether it be your family or friends, a fight that you have with a partner and you spill all that tea, well, of course you're going to forgive them, usually quickly and faster, right? But you're also not blinded, yeah, sometimes blinded, but you're also in love, right? So it's easier for you to forgive them and view them in the way that you usually view them, which is as your loving, amazing partner that you love to be with, right? But other people in your life, they're not in love with your partner. So of course, they're going to remember the bad things more. So that's why it's so important to be careful how much you share with the people close to you when it comes to the inner workings of your relationship and what's not working out, right? Because if things are not working out, there's a chance that, you know, you guys will resolve it together, right? If you're out here bad mouthing them, talking all that shit, and then and then your people are, you know, they're on your side, so they're talking shit with you, right? It's kind of like, it feels a little weird for the friend or for your family member, because it's like, we were just sitting here the other day talking about how much we hate this man and how he ate shit and how we never want to see him again and how he's pathetic and this and that and the third, right? And now you're up here in the house with him, like, you're all good because it's just norm to you, right? Like, but the person that you were venting to, they're like, damn, like, I said all this shit about so and so and now you're back with him. Like, that puts them in a weird place, right? So you need to just be more aware of how much you're sharing about your relationship with people, right? There's a balance there, and privacy is just so important. Privacy is so important. Not everyone needs to know everything about you. If there's anything I want to teach everyone in this world, is the power of privacy. Stop giving everyone a microphone when it comes to your life, right? Like, stop making space for everybody to have something to say about your life, right? They don't know you like that. Like, genuinely, even if it's people that know you know you more than they know you. That's a fact. No matter what, even if you feel like you don't know yourself, you know what you need. Maybe you've stopped listening to yourself and stopped, you know, really connecting with your intuition, but your soul knows what you want. Your soul knows what you need. So every time you make space for other people to have more opinions about your life before you check in with yourself about what you want to do, I think you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. You're trying to go over here, but you keep listening to people, so they're taking you to the other side, right? And your soul is like, what the hell? Like, I thought we were making progress. I thought you were finally starting to listen to me, the person who knows what you want, the person that knows, you know, exactly what you need to feel fulfilled in this life and to reach your purpose. But you keep asking everyone else what to do. You keep asking everyone else how you should go about this. They're not you. Right? And their advice may be amazing, you know what I mean? Or it may be beneficial for them or the type of person that they are. But that doesn't mean that it's going to fit your life and what you need to do. And unless you learn to feel comfortable and confident in your own voice, even just within your own mind, right? If you don't start asking yourself questions and checking in with yourself, and, you know, following your intuition and gut feeling when making decisions, you're just always going to be living life by everyone else's standards. And ultimately, you're never going to be happy. You're not. You're not. Okay, and speaking of, honestly, water signs being lover boys and lover girls. Okay, so obviously Love Island Games started, and tell me why there's like 4 Pisces men on the cast. 4 Pisces men. And I've realized Pisces men love to go on these shows. Pretty sure last season of Love Island, season 6, had like 3 or 4 Pisces men too. It's just, these Pisces men, they just can't get enough of this love. I mean, I'm not shocked. It's very Pisces of you. But it's just so funny how these Pisces men are like, I will find my soulmate here. I will. And they do. I feel like what it is with Pisces men is, I will not lie, they're not out here, all of them being these perfect angels. I've seen what y'all say. I've heard the streets, right? Even though I am a #1 Pisces man supporter, because I have a Pisces man, I know what the fuckboys be acting like, right? The Pisces fuckboys. But it's just so funny because when I do watch Pisces men on reality TV, I'm like, oh yeah, he's gone. You could tell from their eyes. You could tell from their eyes when they're in love, genuinely, and they fall fast. And like I said, it's just so fun to watch water signs on dating shows, you guys. It doesn't hit better than a water sign on a reality show. It really doesn't, because we are in it. We are in it, and there is no hiding how we're feeling. Because genuinely, yes, a lot of people may come on these shows nowadays too to like gain a following. You don't know if they're there for love or just to get famous. But Love Island Games is cool because it is for money. So it's not like you gotta just like be acting like it's just for love. So it's just interesting because I feel like even for water signs that are like maybe playing the game, usually they do fall. Like there is no stopping us. Once we start genuinely having feelings for someone, I think it's really really hard for us water signs to kind of dial it back and start getting logical. Like if we're falling, we're falling. There is no like I'm coming back up for air like oh no, now I have like clarity, and post nut clarity. No, you know what I mean? So, if you are with a water or if you are a water sign, let me know when you fall. Can you ever really dial it back and be like, let me be logical? Actually, like, this may not make sense. We can't do that. We don't know how to do that. When we fall, we're like, I found the love of my life. Like, genuinely. Every time we start having serious, feelings for someone, I feel like water signs, we're like, yep, found my soulmate. Found my soulmate. And for other people, maybe it's like, oh, that was like my first love, like puppy love, like when I thought, like, when I was innocent, I thought like everyone's my soulmate. No, for water signs, I feel like we genuinely meet people. And when we start feeling you, when a water sign starts feeling you, they're like, found my soulmate, found mine. And randomly, like, I feel like I want to be, just getting into the next random topic that just came to mind. I want to be the kind of person that's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. But like, I give a fuck. You know what I mean? I genuinely give too much of a fuck. But I've come to realize when I have moments of like, I don't give a fuck, that shit is so peaceful. It's so peaceful. It's genuinely so peaceful to not give any fucks. I haven't perfected the art of not giving one like all day, every day, I mean, there's things that you should care about, but I genuinely mean like when you're like in your head, when life is too much, like it does feel better when you just stop giving a fuck, right? Like it's not that serious. Like it'll figure itself out. It's so hard to do. It's so hard to be in that mindset of like, what's going to happen is going to happen, right? If I was not medicated, it would probably be worse because I have anxiety too. But genuinely, it feels so good to just be like, there's literally nothing I can do. And yeah, I could go crazy right now and I could try and beat myself and like try and figure out how I can fix this and make it like this and do that and the third, right? And what if they do this to me? What if this happens? What if they think I'm like this, right? Like all this giving a fuck, giving too much of a fuck. It takes so much energy out of you. It's so mentally draining to constantly be worried about everything, even though you have zero control over any of it. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of where the mindset I've been living in. It's been like a battle of like, I care too much. Okay, I don't want to care at all, right? It's a constant battle between those two things for me. And I feel like it's just more peaceful to not give a fuck. It's my Libra Mercury. She is the problem and the solution in many ways. But my Libra Mercury is just constantly putting me in other people's minds, and it makes me give too many fucks, right? Because I'm constantly wondering what they're thinking about it, how they're processing this information, how they're viewing me. You know what I mean? And then the Scorpio in me is like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck, right? And then my Capricorn is like, nah, like, I'm the shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. And then my Capricorn rising is like, well, maybe you need to do more. Maybe you are overestimating how well you're doing. It's just all too much. Again, I think, and this is me talking to me too, it's important to be comfortable with the fact that we are multi-dimensional beings. Like, I don't have to be one way, but the Libra in me is like, but you do. Like, who are you, right? But genuinely, it's okay if different parts of your personality clash. And if you are contradicting yourself, right? It's okay if one day you're like this and the next day you're like that. Because I think genuinely, I get in my head about that. I'm like, why can't you stay consistent with what you believe in? I think with important things I do. But when it comes to the mindset that I have in life, it's constantly shifting, right? Between one thing and the other. And I guess it kind of makes sense that it happens more during Virgo season, because Virgo is all about, the the processes that you have, in place and how you do things. And I have Virgo in the ninth house of spirituality. And, I think a lot of times I can be very critical of myself and my beliefs and why I believe them and why they contradict each other. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you're still figuring it out, I think we're going to be figuring it out till we die, right? You don't ever stop learning. And I think I just need to remind that, my Virgo in the ninth makes me feel like I have to be one way. And it's okay if I'm not. It's okay if I'm still figuring it out. And if I go back and forth between what I believe in, there's nothing wrong with that, Anyway, that's all for me, folks. I love you guys. Happy eclipse portal almost ending. I think we have the new moon eclipse. What is it? It's this Sunday, right? This Sunday, Monday. Enjoy it. Enjoy your weekend and understand that life just ain't that serious, especially when the sun is going to move into Libra and Mars is going to move into Scorpio. So we're going to get our motivation back. Libra energy is going to make us feel more social and lighthearted. So hang in there. I think the good energy is coming. I know the good energy is coming. And I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Bye, y'all.